How you doing? This is Joel Adamas from Honda of downtown Chicago, and today I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to introduce everyone to one of our shining stars here at the dealership. Her name is Miss Jacquelyn Hoday. She is my very first female technician working at our store, and quite frankly, I've been here downtown about 23 years. I don't think any other dealership in the area currently, correct me if I'm wrong, has a female technician working for them. And this is something that I've always thought about for a very long time. I come from a big family. I have 7 sisters, and I know very well that women can do exactly what a man can do. And they're great workers, great communicators, great multitaskers as well. And I was really proud to put an ad out and say, hey, I want to reach out and see if I find a really good female technician. And I did put an ad out, and Jacquelyn responded. I think you sent me an email, right? Mm-hmm. She sent me an email and said, I want the job. And I was like, okay, fine. I'm going to hire a female technician. I went to my boss. They were like, yes, let's do it. I called the owners like, yes, let's do it. Let's rock it out. And then we ran into a problem, right? Because we had an issue where the changing area had to be separated for a woman, and I couldn't find a space to do it. And Jacquelyn's like, look, man, I don't care where I change at. Just let me give me a job, get me in the door.
I've never had that before.
And then we made it happen, right? We put a changing area inside one of the female bathrooms here. And it worked out great. So how did you hear about the job?
Well, I knew that I wanted to change specifically. Everyone kept telling me to try and get into the dealership world because I always only worked for independents. And I don't know, like it never really, I just wanted to work on cars. I never really cared where it was. But I knew that I wanted to work for this Honda specifically, which is why I tried so hard and emailed you and reached out so many times. I don't know, I wanted to work here specifically, like the most. Right. So I couldn't let it go.
Would you have like a gut feeling that it was?
I don't know, I mean like just Honda has always been like all the guys I've ever worked with at the independents, like Honda's like always a big deal. Like they've always had Hondas, always had, you know, the little manual Civics. Yeah. And I've always wanted a manual Civic. So I don't know, it was just like here specifically for something that's like in downtown Chicago, like awesome location.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know, it was just it made me a gut feeling. I just really wanted to be here.
So I want to ask you some questions. When did you realize you had an interest in mechanical work?
People ask me this a lot, and I think I kind of just fell into it. Like there was an ad for Jiffy Lube. This was like 5-6 years ago, and I just applied to it, kind of just on a whim. Like,
did you have any training before that?
No.
Did you go to school for it?
No.
Did you have any family members that kind of taught you how to wrench, or did you hang around the garage with an uncle or a brother or a father?
No. And honestly, I never know how to answer this question because it came out of nowhere.
So it just came out and you were like, hey, I just want to be a mechanic one day.
For some reason I just had like the urge to like, this is what I want to do. Like,
oh, wow.
I was lucky to find my thing. I don't know.
That's
like,
cool.
I had that and I applied and like got the job and then I was, you know, from there.
That's amazing. A lot of times when I find technicians who are great techs, and by the way, Jacquelyn is a great technician, okay? Usually they have a huge background in like Wyoming Tech or UTI or Lincoln Tech. And for a long time I would go to schools and I would speak to young students and I'd offer them like a job as a porter or like a job as a express technician, and that's how I'd get them in. But you're telling me you just said, hey, I want to be a mechanic. I'm just going to get into it, and this is where we're at right now.
Do you know, okay, this is what I figured out that it probably is that I've always wanted to pass the car. And you got to know how to fix it when it breaks, like, every 5 minutes. So, I'm too stubborn to, like, I need to do everything, like, myself. I need to learn it, I need to, like, get the skill, and, like, I'm just like that in general. So I think because that was something that I really wanted to have, I was like, I gotta learn how to maintain it.
I think that's awesome. I think, you know what, I'm a little different. I think I'm like, if I'm kind of like, I feel like my back's to the wall, I'm just like, you know what, screw this, I'm gonna figure it out, I'm gonna do it myself, and I'm like that. But you're telling me like, you kind of just, you had a desire, and you just roll with it until, to where you are now.
Right, I do have that thing.
I think that's great. So, did you have any fears going into the business?
No, not really. I think, well, I had been in it for a few years before I started working here, so any of those fears would have been gone a while ago. But everyone is always worried that, like, how the guys are going to treat me, which has never really crossed my mind. And it's an interesting, like, question every time they ask me. Because, like, all the guys that I've worked with at all of my jobs, like, they are, like, the most down-to-earth, nicest people, like, nicest, like, protecting, you know, like, kind of like all your brothers, you know? Like,
yeah, you come in like a sister, you know?
Yeah, like, I don't know, they've just been, like, the best guys that I've ever known in my life. So it's weird when people ask me that because it's not even a thought.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So, you know, I'm not going to lie, I had a fear. You know, I was like, God, I want to make sure that everyone is so respectful to this young lady when she comes in because, you know, you hear nightmare stories of how we're not treated correctly in the workplace, you know. Right. So before you came in, I had so many...
I'm more hard-headed than that.
What's that?
I think I'm more hard-headed than that. Like, they could say anything and I wouldn't...
It would bother you.
No, it wouldn't mean anything.
But, like, I remember, like, before you came on board, I was like, we have a female technician coming on board. And I'm like, look, guys. You know, they got the whole speech. But, you know, for the most part, all the guys up there are gentlemen. And, you know, and you know what?
I also know the environment I'm putting myself in. So you have to be strong enough to handle all of that, you know.
That's a good point.
If you really want to do it, like, I'm here for the job, I'm here for the thing I love to do.
Right.
Everything else is just, you know.
It's a plus. You know, if you make friends along the way, it's a plus. If people treat you right, it's a plus.
But I know there's always that, like, you know, possibility. But one, I've never dealt with it, and two, I wouldn't care if I had to.
So now that you're in the business, what drives you as you go deeper into your career?
Knowing for sure that this is where I'm supposed to be.
Very good. That's a great answer. Wow. What surprised you once we came into the business? What was something that surprised you? You were like, I didn't expect that.
Everyone always made dealerships specifically seem like they were more intense than they are. Like, you know, you go from the advisors who have the relationships with customers and, like, just the techs and the honesty and the quality of the work. Like, it's all how it should be. It's all, like people just want to shy you away from dealerships because they're, you know, like, big rather than independents, and it's not like that. Like, in my opinion, it's better.
we're always looked at like these big corporate monster machines, you know?
But it's not like that at all.
No, I think what a lot of people don't understand is that from where we stand, it's all about relationships, you know? It's all about honesty, it's all about integrity. Yeah. You know, I know we've been talking about it for a while, but at one point we're going to have cameras and we're going to have, like, video clips of the actual inspection going on. So I just want the doors to be wide open, you know? I don't want people to ever second guess us in any way.
That made me think, actually, that maybe that's why people ask me all the time, like, how the guys treat me. Because they're worried about, like, you know, the industry has a reputation of being dishonest and taking advantage, and it's, in my experience, not been like that. And, you know, those guys are, like, some of the most honest people I've ever met. So, like, I mean, if they tell you something with your car, like, they mean it, you know? Like, it's not...
It's cool. I think that's a great point. I think it's wonderful for someone to hear that, you know, if I was having this conversation. So tell me, as a technician, tell me your strengths. I know them. I'm your boss, so I already know what your strengths are.
You might know them better than I do. I mean, I think my drive is probably the biggest one. And the fact that I want to do this and care about it, and my reputation means something to me. So, yeah, I mean, like, they could throw anything at me, and they have, and I will do it.
But for sure.
Also because, again, I'm stubborn, and I need to do it.
So you will yourself through it, right?
Yes, I mean, you can always learn it. I'm a fast learner, too. Like, they could show me something, and I'll be able to do it. I have to, like, see it being done and, like, do it, like, I'm a visual, you know? And, like, I can't, like, read it, and then you'll have to, like, show me how to do it, but... Yeah. I can do it.
All right, so here's a hard question. So tell me, as a technician, what are some of your weaknesses?
I mean, like, specifically, like, skill-wise?
Yeah, like, let's say something, it doesn't necessarily have to be skill-wise, but maybe something that you feel you kind of struggle with, you know, in the business?
Well, that's asks a lot of questions. From what I've heard, I ask a lot of questions. I would need to know why something needs to happen.
Right.
Like some of the guys are like, because they already know why, so they sometimes don't realize like. I need to understand why it works, and then I can do it.
Okay.
Rather than just do this and like how come? Like.
Yeah, you want to know why, right? There's always the why behind everything.
So that part might like take a little longer.
It's fine. I see that as a strength. Asking questions. Most people are scared to ask questions. So they don't want to feel, they don't want to feel dumb. They don't want to feel like they're bothering someone. But in this business, you got to ask as many questions as possible.
Yeah.
So what is something that makes you proud of being a technician?
I just, just the confidence in myself that it gives me. This is probably one of the biggest things that makes me feel good about me and who I am.
Let me tell you something. I'm gonna share something personal. So, I go home. Me and my wife talk about work, and I was telling her about you. And I've been talking about you for a while to her, and she's like, "Wait a minute, you have a female technician?" I go, "Yeah." I go, "You haven't met her yet?" And she goes, "No." She goes, my wife has a secret passion for working on cars, right? And she's like, "Oh my God, can I just go to work and shadow her for a day?" And I'm like, "No, you're not gonna bother her, with that, because my wife wants she wants to do everything. She's like you, like if she doesn't know, she's always like if we buy something for the house, she has to be the one to put it together. Like she looks at the instructions, and most men are like, "Oh, I'll take care of that, honey." I'm not that guy at all. When I go home, I'm like, "Leave me alone. I just want to just cool off, And she's like super excited that she heard about you working here. And I want you guys to meet because. So I'm sure she's got like a million questions. I think that there's a lot of excitement about this industry, but maybe they just don't know how to go about it. Maybe they just don't know where to look, And I really encourage women that have that desire to step in because believe it or not, there's a shortage of technicians right now. A lot of people don't want to be technicians. They don't understand or they don't want to take the risk in the career. But my doors are always open for something like that.
I mean, my biggest thing to say about that is to not doubt yourself.
What's that?
Not doubt yourself. You can't doubt yourself.
Yeah, that's a great point. So my last question is, how has working here at Honda of Downtown Chicago helped you to grow with this opportunity?
Probably, we're one of the, busiest, I guess. Like one of the, the dealerships in the area. Like, there's automatically a lot of opportunity here because of, location, trust with client base, just the amount of work, the type of work, like.
I think from standing back watching you work, like your growth has just been the amount of experience and different types of repairs that you've done. Like you've
the
done.
Fact that Andy will give me anything and will trust me enough to do it.
And let me tell you, our shop foreman Andy, he speaks very highly of you. Like he's like, man, she's a great tech. She works hard, And I remember the week that you beat everyone in booked hours. Oh my God, Andy!
What do you mean the week? It's been like a month in a row.
I know. I was saying the first time that it happened, Andy calls me. He goes, "Hey man, I gotta tell you something." I'm like, "What's going on?" He goes, Jacquelyn booked more hours than anyone in the shop. I'm like, "You're kidding me?" I go, "No way." He goes, "Yeah." I go, "What?" I kind of knew she could do that. And then I think you were off the next day. So we have the shop meeting. And I'm like, well, now that we have someone that's whooping everyone up here, And it was great. Everyone loved it. I think it was phenomenal. So
they're telling me that all the time.
That's good.
They'll constantly look down and be like, my head hurt.
Yeah, and I think you got a good mentor next to you too, right? Hen is a good guy.
Oh yeah.
No. Hen is another guy. We got to interview him one day because he's another one from the independent, Sergio. He's another one from the independent area, and he brought his skills from the independent, and then we taught him how to work on Hondas, and he just took off, as a leader.
Hen's a lot of the reasons that
he's a great guy. Well, we have a great sense of camaraderie up there. I'm as a manager, I'm super blessed to work in a shop where there's not inward fighting, no cancer, no jealousy, because I worked at other places where it was very different. But here,
anytime someone needs help, someone is there immediately.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it where, and I walk by and I see 4 people. I'm like, what's going on over here? No one's working, and you guys are all working together to figure out a problem. That's awesome. That sense of teamwork is amazing. So, okay, Do you have any questions? Anything?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, that concludes our interview with Miss Jacquelyn Hoday. And I just want to say thank you to Jacquelyn for being our guest. And this is something great. And I'm glad that she encourages, I hope that she encourages other women to step into the field as well. And that is our conversation for Honda Tech Tip of the Day. My name is Joel Adamas. And always remember, if it's broken, we can fix it.